Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. We are in an epic battle with our streaming software. Mark is over there.
My computer this time.
Oh, it's his computer this time fighting with him. So he's going to be trying to fix it while we're live. Enjoy all the craziness that might be taking place in the background. Oh, we don't have a banner or nothing, do we? That's okay. We don't need it. Whatever
No, it's fine. I'll get it on there.
whatever the bare minimum to make it work. The alphas will.
There now.
Oh, is it here?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just going to appear?
Yeah. It's gonna fade in.
Oh, it's going to fade in. I'm ready for it. All right, guys.
Okay.
Happy Friday. If for any reason we start lagging, we start disconnecting.
If we completely freeze.
If we completely
Because
freeze,
that's what I just fixed.
we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. But it has been a crazy, crazy night for Mark and I. You want to just give them just a highlight, just a little snippet?
My sister had a baby.
Where?
In her bathroom.
In her bathroom. So that was last night. We had to stay up a little late by the phone, make sure that we weren't needed. And we're going to go take her some pants today. She's not in her bathroom anymore. She is in a hospital
She's
now.
In the hospital.
So that's how our night went. How did your guys' night go? Did you bake cookies or do normal things? Or did your sisters too have bathroom babies? Let us know.
I can't see the chat.
Teresa, congrats.
No.
We're Auntie and Unky again.
Yay.
He loved.
Definitely lagging. Yeah. YouTube's telling us my bit rate is 0. So
Oh,
don't know what's up with that.
Amber.
Did she know she was pregnant? Yeah, she knew she was pregnant.
She knew. It's like watching dubbed anime.
They're out of sync with the sound. There's nothing I can do about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. My computer is being a piece of crap today.
Ah, that sucks. Maybe it'll catch back up with itself. If not, we'll just be like a dubbed anime, which, that's what we prefer anyway with our anime.
It's all about the dub.
We're not really big on subtitles. I like to appreciate the art, and I'm a slow reader. So happy Friday, everybody. We're sorry about the lag. We're sorry about any technical difficulties that are to come.
Yeah, it's like 5 seconds behind.
That's fine. We are going to be hanging out with you for the next hour-ish and answering your questions, assuming that everything goes well today. We're covering Etsy SEO, which is your very favorite topic. For those who are new, who are just joining us, who are joining us for the very first time, I'm Starla. Hello. I have been running my Etsy shop for I always say like 9-ish.
She don't even know.
It's not. It's like I started in 2012, which will be 9-ish years. I have been running the alphas now we're going on 3 years, I believe. 3 years, or going on 4 years, something like that.
I'm awful with time.
And I have been working for eRank, which is our favorite Etsy SEO tool, for a year now. February, it'll be a year. And then Mark just recently was hired by eRank as well. So I would say, have had a lot of experience with Etsy and Etsy SEO, and we're here to answer your questions. So if you don't mind us being out of sync and our lips not matching our mouths or our words, then feel free to get in some awesome Etsy SEO questions. And if this live stream ends up being a complete fail, we will do another Etsy SEO one next week. So
I left my mouse over there. I was just going to switch it over to the webcam audio so it
Oh.
sync. Keep talking, woman.
Keep talking.
I'm talking.
Talking. Let's
there
see.
You are now, yeah.
What are you guys?
Here we are now, yeah.
Here we are. Did it work?
I haven't done it yet. I'm just gonna do it over there.
What happened? What kind of coffee are we drinking today?
It is Stumptown.
Stucktown.
Stump.
Stuck.
Like Stumpton.
Stumpton. Yeah, it's pretty good. We got it at Whole Foods. So, but it's the Friday Bean. Of course, we're drinking coffee. I'm drinking out of my beautiful historic Clifton Mill mug. They are one of our local. They're like 5 minutes away, but they have the craziest Christmas light display ever, and they won the Great Christmas Light Fight on, I can't, is it on TLC? One of those channels. If you look up historic Clifton Mill, you'll see the craziest Google images of the most amazing Christmas display that I go to every year since I was a child, except for this year because of COVID. So, all right.
I'm just gonna leave it alone because my software completely froze. I can't even do anything in it anymore. So if the stream breaks, I can't even fix it no more.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well.
If for some reason our stream dies like hecka early, we will create a new stream on YouTube and start over.
Yeah.
So
You won't be able to access it from the email link that I sent you,
no,
but
you'll have to go to the actual YouTube channel, which you can literally just click
my name.
her name, and it'll take you to the channel. So if this video dies super mega early, do that. Look out for it.
Yeah.
I did a full restart on my system and everything, and it's just wanting to be a crapshoot today.
If it dies before 12:30.
Yeah.
If it dies after 12:30, we will probably just
call it.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's before 12:30 or whatever time it is where you are, after 30. All right. Give me some questions, my darling.
There aren't any.
There is. I see one.
Where?
Jimmy.
Oh. SEO plus ads question. Are you better off selecting specific listings to have ads, or just letting Etsy pick listings from your shop that match the search?
Okay, so for ads, what you're going to want to do is the alpha's like favorite Starla quote is that you want to select your winning racehorses. Don't just let Etsy pick random ones. Pick the best sellers. Pick the things that you know are going to perform well. If you're betting on racehorses, you're not going to just take a guess. You're not just going to pick. You're not going to pick the slowest horse, certainly. You're going to pick the horses that are already known to win. Because if they're already doing well on their own, then when you add that ad revenue in there, you know that there are no issues with the listing. The listing itself and the product is not an obstacle that's going to keep people from clicking on it and buying it. And I know a lot of people's mindset is, well, it's already doing well. I'm not going to promote one that's not doing well. I'll promote the one that isn't doing well. You need to be promoting the thing that you know is going to bring in more money, because if it's already bringing in money and then you add some ad revenue onto it, it's going to hopefully bring in even more than that. It's going to hopefully, double that traffic to it. So bet on the things that you already know are working. All right. Woohoo.
I don't have eRank, but feel discouraged on ever ranking. Tags actually describing my product are not showing any searches, and I can't seem to find any general search terms for less than 50,000 competition.
Competition isn't necessarily a bad thing. I know that when you're starting out, yeah, competition is really tough, but it's only going to get worse. Competition will never go down. It's only going to grow. So what I will say is that I rank for a lot of keywords for shops that have, more sales than me, and a lot of times I will list something new and be able to rank higher than some of these shops. And the reason for that is I have dominated my keywords. I have chosen a keyword that I want to be known for. And when I started using that keyword several years ago, yeah, I was not ranking on page 1, but I was persistent with it. And I stacked it with achievable keywords that I knew that I could rank for that didn't have high competition. They might not have had the best searches, but they did have some monthly searches. And I would pair those together, and in time, through sales, through good reviews, and through growth of both my listing quality scores and my customer and marketplace experience score, I was able to build authority over that keyword to the point where Etsy can look at me as a seller and say, wow, this person has a really great track record. every time someone buys something from this person, they enjoy what they buy and they leave a good review. So that must mean that we should show this person's listings to more shoppers. Therefore, I'm able to rank higher. So it's all about sticking it out for the long run.
Yes.
I would pick one keyword that is what your product is all about, and don't worry about the competition. Make sure it's a long tail keyword. Make sure that, if possible, for example, if you're trying to rank for gemstone bracelet, make sure that you add a couple other terms on there like silver and blue gemstone bracelet, because Etsy's still going to read gemstone bracelet, but they're also going to read it as a long tail keyword as well, and you'll get an exact match for both gemstone bracelet and whatever I just said, blue and silver gemstone bracelet. So that would be your first step. Second step is to don't just try to think of a million ways to describe what your product is. If you run out of ideas, switch to gift terms. What type of person is buying it? What type of aesthetic are they trying to achieve? Who are they buying it for? A lot of the times, these are the good filler keywords that you can use when you're out of keyword ideas, because let's face it, coming up with enough keywords to fill your tags and titles can be a pain in the butt. But
Oh yeah.
if you start thinking like a shopper and thinking about, well, they might not know what they want, but they know that they're looking for something for their mom, and my product would be great for Mother's Day, might be worth sprinkling some of those in, and then just test and experiment. Use eRank's change tracker tool on those listings that you've made changes to, and really look at the way that those changes affected your views, favorites, and sales. That way, if they didn't help you, you'll be able to see exactly where those changes were made, so you can revert them back to whatever they were before. Or if they made a positive impact on that listing, you can take those changes and apply them to another listing. Just make sure to not edit your best sellers. Don't ever touch anything that's already selling, because like I always say, it's like having 4 legs of a table. If you pull one of those legs out, the entire table could collapse. So don't touch listings that are already performing well.
Yes.
All right. I know we have lots of questions now. So
Yes. Angela, we have a bestseller in our shop. Can we or should we use the SEO tags in the bestseller in all other listings?
Only if those other listings aren't doing well. You could experiment with it, but keep in mind, it's not just the words that you're using that are ranking you. It is the listing quality score. So for your best seller, you have really dominated whatever keywords it is that you're ranking for. And Etsy has decided that you are the best of those keywords. And that is what your rank is. It is the amount of engagement. It is people leaving good reviews. It is people buying that listing, people actively looking at that listing. Those are the things that are going to contribute to that particular listing being shown in search and being a bestseller. So if you were to put all of the same keywords, basically copy that listing identically, it doesn't mean that the copy of that listing would rank. Even though it looks exactly the same, it doesn't have the same history. It doesn't have the positive listing quality score. So you could try. Feel free to do that. I wouldn't use all of the same keywords. Try to get a little bit of variety in there. That way you're casting a lot of different fishing lines into the water. Every keyword is a new opportunity, a new fishing line into the water.
And with and your tags should still kind of, other than like your mainline tags, like your shop name tags and like brand tags and things like that, they should still somewhat represent what the product is. If you're talking about like a mug that sells well, you don't want to put that on all the same tags as you would put on a mug on a basket, you know? So they still need to be representative of what the product is. That way when people are searching it, they're not getting a basket when they wanted a mug.
Exactly.
What happened to Alphas After Dark, and do you have the past live stream available for replay? Alphas After Dark, we'll be doing another episode soon. We're still not sure when. And the last live stream is available if you have the original email with a link still in it. Otherwise, it is not available.
Unless you're in Handmade Alpha Academy.
Yeah,
And then it's in the resources guide.
Yes.
We just got to find a good way to do this, because for those who aren't aware, Alphas After Dark is where we help sellers in the 18 plus category. And we can't just have those publicly available. So feel free to email me, Starla at handmadealphaacademy.com, if you want the old link.
We might do those on a different platform moving forward, just because they're kind of risky for YouTube.
Yeah, we don't want to get our channel shut down while we're legitimately trying to help people.
Yeah.
So.
Hooked stitch by stitch. What about if it's not doing anything? Your listings are at 0. Would it still be the same? Since you're betting on a listing that has something to show. Does that make sense? In relation to what? What
I'm
was that?
assuming ads, pushing ads.
Yeah.
If all of your listings are at 0 and you're trying to bet on a listing, I would be focusing my energy into something else other than ads. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be, ads aren't going to save a bad listing. It's likely that there's something else going on there, whether that be your photos, whether that be your pricing, whether that be your SEO. Regardless, you're not going to boost that listing into suddenly selling if it's not making any progress at all. I would first ensure that you've done everything that there is to be done, before you start pushing money into it. Money isn't the magic solution to succeed on Etsy, and I can confirm that because I don't advertise on Etsy.
Nope, we sure don't.
Not we used to,
We used to,
but
yeah.
I had to turn it off after they messed up their ads platform.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're selling something that's currently in like a viral market, ads aren't going to be your number one anyway. They might eventually become something that leads a lot of traffic to your shop, but I mean, either way, focusing on offsite advertising, I think, in my opinion, is the way to go. Even if ads work for you, I still think if ads are working for you, then offsite advertising is an untouched market that can bring more traffic if you have the ability to support more traffic. We have a lot of alphas that don't.
Yeah.
I'm having an issue with a seller who's livid over shipping but refuses to check her local USPS and is being nasty. Etsy says I need to keep reminding her about shipping, but she doesn't care.
A seller
A seller or a customer?
I'm assuming that you mean a customer.
Unless you have another seller that you bought from.
We actually have a Q&A that we did about this, about slow shipping. I would watch that because there's some good resources there, and there is a missing mail link in the description to that. It was right before the holidays. That's where I would look. But since this is kind of a SEO Q&A, we probably won't get too far into shipping.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned Discord for the Alphas After Dark because they recently added a video feature for Discord. Maybe I'll take a look into it. She doesn't use Discord, but I do. I use Discord for a couple of the games that I play, so we have to get accustomed to it first. I sell pricey blankets, which can be gifted for Christmas, birthdays, etc. Competitive keywords. Should I use those in my titles and tags because it's very general terms that people might not click on mine?
Exactly. They're very general terms. People might not click on them, and they're like movers and shakers. That's what we used to call them at eRank. I think he changed the name of it. But movers and shakers, they're things that are constantly going to move. And it would really suck if you established keyword dominance for a Christmas term and you were doing really well, and then you had to remove that term from your listings. I'm not big on putting a lot of weight onto holiday keywords, and I'm not big on constantly changing your keywords, because every single time you make those keyword changes, it takes Etsy time to reevaluate you for those keyword changes. It takes them a little bit of time. They say 60 to 90 days. It could be anywhere in between that. That's why right before Black Friday, me and Anthony and Pam Duthie were constantly releasing disclaimers that said, hey, day before Black Friday, don't go in and change all your keywords. That is a bad time to decide to make keyword changes, because it's going to take time to be recataloged in search to be found for those keywords. So it's kind of a risky game. I'm not super big on throwing in holiday keywords, just because if people are searching for something, they're not going to, it's more likely that they're going to search more who it's for, which is never going to change, as opposed to search the holiday, unless the product is holiday themed. If I'm selling a watch, I know that I could probably get just as many hits around Christmas for saying, thoughtful Christmas or thoughtful gifts for dad, and just not use the word Christmas in there.
She also had the idea, or maybe create duplicates for blankets and just use gift keywords all over it.
I mean, feel free to test it.
So for me, if you're really set on wanting to use those holiday and gift keywords, I would put them in the latter 3/4 of the text. And what I mean by that is where most people, when they're scrolling through a listing, they're going to look at the beginning text. But if something is at the end of the text, they're also going to catch on to that. So if you think that the gift terminology is going to turn people away from it, put it somewhere in the text where they're probably not going to get to it. Like if you're using multiple terms, like Indian blanket, this, that, and the other, a birthday blanket and then another tag. That way, it's not the first thing that their eyes are latching onto. If you're dead set on using it, I'm in the same boat as her. I'm not a big fan of using them. Christmas, I think, is the only exception for me. I think using Christmas is a good idea
because you can start in September,
right? Especially if it is something that's good for Christmas. Some things aren't good for Christmas presents, but if it is something that's good for a Christmas present, it reminds people that hey, this might be a good Christmas present, but when they need to buy one. Amber had a question. How long should I leave the 3-star review I got accidentally, sending the wrong card? I messaged the buyer, offered to send the correct one, but no reply. I don't want to leave it unacknowledged.
How long has it been?
You're wanting to get to it quick.
You're wanting to respond to it like publicly? Go ahead and do it. Three star is not that bad. I wouldn't worry about a 3-star review. That's like in the neutral category. 2 and 1 are what you want to worry about. And can you even leave a response on a review for 3 stars? I wasn't sure if you could. I thought it
3 stars was considered neutral, I thought.
Yeah, I didn't think that
maybe Etsy did 4 stars for neutral.
I didn't think that you could leave. Did you just maybe send them the card that they had actually ordered? You said you sent them the wrong one. Did you by chance send them a new one for the thing that they did order? Even if they didn't acknowledge it, I would just send them another one, and even if they never change the review or contact me again, at least I know that I did my part. And then I would leave that, if you can respond to that review, I'd put that in the response. Be like, oh, I'm so sorry. We were really busy. Yada, yada. I feel terrible. I did send the buyer a replacement card. She didn't get back to me, but I hope that she loved it. So.
Oh, and Jessica did say she meant customer.
Oh, okay.
Margaret said someone listed will be describing just blanket features and duplicate just search or just general terms. Yeah, we got you.
You could try it.
Yeah, feel free to shot. I mean, it won't hurt. Just don't delete the original listing. Darlene said, does that include the main photo?
Do you mean changing your listings? No. So the things that Etsy is going to factor in when it comes to changing your listing, things that could influence the time that it takes you to reappear in search, be reevaluated in search, be ranked for the new keywords that you've added into your listing, that 60 to 90 day window, that is your tags and titles and attributes. Your descriptions and your photo and your pricing, those things don't have any weight whatsoever. Now, they can have, for example, your thumbnail could, if, for example, the shoppers really like the new thumbnail photo and it looks better than everything else on a search page, that could cause them to start clicking on it. That had nothing to do with the algorithm, though. And vice versa, if it's a really terrible photo and you took out a great photo and put a terrible photo in, and shoppers didn't like that photo, and they suddenly stopped clicking on that listing because they really didn't like the new photo that you added, then that could influence, because you're, not having as much traffic coming in, and that could influence your listing quality score in a negative way, and that might drop your views and favorites and sales. But that has nothing to do with the algorithm. That's just buyer perception. And hopefully your photos always get better and never get worse.
What about products that fit several good keywords? Do you pick one or use them all, like body butter, body cream, lotion?
Use them all.
Yeah, use them all, but don't duplicate. And I know that's difficult to process, but things like body butter, body cream, try not to use body twice. It's one of those tricks that she kind of had to help me learn. Figure out other ways that you could say something like you have body butter and then body cream. You could do body butter and then moisturizing skin cream and then, I don't know.
Moisturizing cream lotion.
Right.
Play a word game. And if you can get
I wouldn't call it a cream lotion. That's weird. But
if you could get an exact match, which is where the keyword is intact exactly, that's great. Exact matches, keep terms that you really want to be found for as an exact match, as in don't mix them up, don't mix and match the words. But if you have to do a broad match, which is where those words are a little bit mixed up, maybe eRank tells you that that moisturizing lotion has a lot of searches, and you do moisturizing body cream lotion where you've got moisturizing and lotion in there, but there's a few words in between. You can still rank for moisturizing lotion, even though you've used moisturizing body cream lotion. You're just matching for a broad match, and it's not going to be as strong as someone who is searching an exact match for body lotion. Does that make sense? You'll still rank for those terms, and it's better than not using them. What I would say is focus on getting an exact match for like we call it the superstar keyword, the one that you really want to rank for, the one that you feel that you can get the most traction for. The other ones, you can have a little bit of flexibility. Just don't feel the need to repeat keywords, because you don't need to do that, especially in your tags.
Do you recommend filling your title bar with keywords, or go with short and concise title that Etsy had recommended last year?
So, Etsy still recommends it. I disagree with it. I disagree with it for a couple reasons. And I know why Etsy recommends it. Etsy recommends that we use short titles, short descriptive titles, because they're more user-friendly. They're friendly to the shoppers. They look nicer to the shoppers. But there isn't as many keyword opportunities there because we're using less keywords. I've tested both. The long keyword strings are still what have brought in the most traffic for me, and tons of alphas who have tested it say the same thing. Feel free to post your own experiences down below. I think that the important thing here is to make sure that your title looks nice and not like one big long run-on sentence. The way that you separate out your keyword phrases doesn't matter that much, because Etsy's going to mix and match the terms anyway, but separate them out in a way that looks aesthetically pleasing so that it doesn't just look like one big long jumble of words. Like I said, I can understand why Etsy recommended it this way. In terms of the effectiveness, I don't have much to say about.
I would need to see proof that does good for the SEO. It might do good for it's one of those things where Etsy is balancing customer relation and shop effectiveness, because it won't kill your SEO to have a short descriptive title if you do it right. But they're trying to make it look more appealing to customers and make it look a little bit less like how eBay used to look, where they would just cram every word that,
or like Amazon.
Yeah. And I hate that. I genuinely hate that. I don't like the way that doing SEO for titles looks. I wish you could just put the product name in there, but that's not how the internet works yet. So if you want to succeed as a shop, you don't necessarily have to do that. If you do enough off-site advertising, then it really doesn't matter. But it's all just depends on where your crowd comes from, where your sales come from. If all of your sales come from off-site, then your SEO doesn't really matter anyway. But if the majority of your sales come from ads and from Etsy organic traffic, then SEO is the only way you make money. So hit or miss. Let's see. When listing new items, should we add a keyword like Christmas? That way that Christmas shoppers come at the end of this year. That way the listing is already established for that keyword.
I mean, you can, but that's assuming that, for one, someone doesn't click on your listing and be like, oh, she still has Christmas keywords in here. This is outdated. She's not an active seller. Or it would also depend on whether or not you're going to be able to maintain a listing quality score through a season when people aren't searching for Christmas gifts. If nobody is searching for Christmas gifts and you're really relying on the Christmas keyword in your listing, then you're probably not going to be able to maintain a good listing quality score anyway. If you're going to keep a Christmas keyword in your listing, I would make sure that it is not the primary keyword that you're trying to rank for. I would put much more weight into a different keyword and then use your whatever Christmas gift term as almost like a last resort keyword, because you want people to be engaging with that listing all the time, and they're likely not searching Christmas.
So with the gift, and we've had a couple of questions on the gift tags. When it comes to those, other than something like birthday,
anniversary,
it's more with Christmas and any other like holiday gift tags keywords. It's more of a notification to the person that it's an idea to buy your product for that particular gift reason. You aren't going to rank for Christmas. Everyone uses it. You're not going to rank for Valentine's Day. Everyone uses it. But it does put you at the front of the line in front of people who aren't doing that around that holiday. I don't really think it's a good idea to just have like a whole list of products that are the same that you've labeled for whatever holiday so they can build SEO, because in reality it's not really going to boost you. Nobody's going to buy those throughout the year, and the listing quality score isn't going to look very good because you're going to have something sitting in your shop all year that doesn't sell, and then at Christmas time it rolls around and you're expecting it that, and that's just not what it's going to do. If you're going to put the Christmas tags in there, do it around Christmas. Do it like the month before when you set up your listings for Christmas, and then remove the tag
September,
later.
not a month before Christmas, like a month before you start marketing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't think too hard on the gift terms, other than like birthdays and holiday, or not holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, things like that. Other things you're not really going to rank for anyway. How can
Nope, one above that.
Is a listing quality score a real thing or an idea? Is it something we can check a physical number on?
It is a real thing that you cannot check a physical number on.
That's confusing, isn't it?
Yes, Etsy doesn't tell us what our listing quality score is.
It's kind of like where your tax money goes to. Nobody really knows. But you know it's used for something.
There's two scores that our shops are rated on. Our listing quality scores, which are unique per each listing. We know of 7 factors, but there are more. There are more than 7, but there are 7 factors that Etsy tells us about that we can use to influence our listing quality score. Relevancy, which is how relevant our keywords are, good reviews, sales of that listing, translation, so how well our listing was translated in the event that someone was searching in a different language. That doesn't apply for most of us. Oh shoot, I can't remember the rest of them. But time, I think, is one of them, like how long the listing has been around. You can find all of those 7 factors both in Etsy's seller handbook, their ultimate guide to search, but I also have a video that covers all 7 of them. There's a long Friday Bean episode that covers them, but there's also a short video on my channel that covers all 7. The other thing that the other score is your customer and market experience score. So that is going to be your shop as a whole. That means all of your listing quality scores together and your reputation in Etsy's marketplace. So whether or not you've had cases against you, your overall average positive reviews for your shop, and things like that. So I would watch the 7 factors that I think it's called What Affects Rank on Etsy. I made it last year, but go watch that video and that should help.
How can we find the keyword that you're ranking for, like within a specific listing?
The keyword that listing is ranking for. So
it's kind of hard to pick out the exact
rank checker tool. You can use eRank.com's rank checker tool. A couple disclaimers as we get into this, because most people use the rank checker tool incorrectly.
Yes, they do.
Your rank of a listing, first of all, is where your listing falls on a search page. So
when it is unaffected by local search, IP search, search terms in your local area, and all of those other things. It's before any other data is input into the search. I just wanted to make that clear.
Well, we're going to. So ranking is the page and position. So I could say that, my listing for this mug is ranking on page 1, position 7 of the search term, color changing heat mug. I don't know. That would be my rank. You can check the rank of your listings to see where they're ranking by using eRank.com's rank checker tool. Now, what the rank checker tool is not going to tell you is where that listing would fall in a search page if you were to personally go to Etsy and type those keywords into Etsy. That is not what the tool is for. Mm-hmm. Because every single shopper, every single user, everyone on Etsy has what is called personalization. It is your search history, your IP address, your localization, all of the things that is going to help Etsy to recommend products that you're most likely to buy. You cannot strip that away. Not by using a incognito window because localization is still there. Not by using an API because that's just putting you somewhere else in the world. You're still going to get personalization for wherever else in the world that API or VPN has placed you. Not to mention you can't use a VPN on Etsy. They will boot you off the platform.
They'll knock you.
Yeah, so don't use a VPN anyway. But there's no way to strip personalization. What eRank receives direct from Etsy's API, their public API,
is the
raw data. They're receiving your rank where you would be placed in search if personalization was not a factor. They cannot give us the personalization factors. That goes on the side of creepy, sketchy, a little bit too invasive for users. But they can give us exactly where we would fall before they apply that machine learning. So in the rank checker, if you see that your listing is landing anywhere on page 1 or even page 2, what the rank checker is telling you is that you most likely don't need to work on the SEO for that listing. You can probably leave that listing alone. It's already ranking well. You're not going to be able to go to Etsy and type in those keywords and magically find your listing.
No.
You might, but it's going to be influenced by your search history.
I like to think of it kind of like the stairwell in Harry Potter. Like the raw Etsy data is like the stairwell with the stairs just perfectly around the edges. None of them have moved. You can get to every single room. But the second that you personally walk in there, the stairs start to move, and the way that you get to that list, the listing is still in the same place. It's just how you get to it is different. That's kind of how that works. I hope that's a little bit of an easier way to understand that.
Yeah, so use the rank checker to see where it would fall organically. And if you see that a listing is on page 1, 2, or even 3, maybe don't touch that listing. That one's probably doing okay. Maybe you should work on the keywords for a listing that is showing, ranking on page 10. Maybe that's the listing that you should spend a little bit more time on.
Nicholas asks, what are gift tags? Birthday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Anytime you could give a gift.
Yeah, a tag, like one of your Etsy tags, putting something like great gifts for dad, cool gifts for mom.
Will a price increase on specific items in my shop affect my SEO for those items?
No.
Not unless you skyrocket the price and it goes from selling a lot to not selling at all.
Right. If the price was so scary that people stopped clicking on it, the listing quality score might suffer a little bit from lack of engagement.
But the SEO is not the listing quality score.
No.
So, I sell 3D printed tabletop miniatures, accessories, and terrain. For tags, should I use miniatures? Or would just miniature work?
You got to check eRank.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and this is a big tip. So for those of you who don't know, I am the data analyst for eRank. That means that I can see how people are using the tools. I can't see like specifics about you or anything like that, but I can see how people are using the tools. And one of the big issues is with plurals and things. So if you have something that you're not getting results for, taking away the S that you're putting on the end of it, like if you're searching mugs, or adding it on if you're not getting result. If it's just mug and you're not getting result, try plural and just try it every which way that you would think and see which one would work best for you. We have a lot of people that cancel thinking that there's no data when in reality they just searched for something that had duplicates instead of just a singular. So, yeah. Try them all and see which works best.
Yeah, so miniature and miniatures, the thing about Etsy itself is that Etsy groups plurals. They know that miniature and miniatures are the same thing. Mini's going to be different. Mini is almost its own little word. But for eRank, unfortunately, we are not able to group plurals.
No,
so regardless of, if you notice that miniature is not doing well, not getting a lot of searches, but miniatures is on eRank, it doesn't really matter if you put miniature or miniatures in your listing because Etsy will know.
But if none of those are getting results, because one of those will have results. If none of them are getting results, that's when you need to start looking at something else.
Exactly.
But you should be fine with any of those. I would probably go with miniature. And because mini and miniature are different, but miniature and miniatures would be registered as the same thing. I personally would put miniature in there, and then if you could put mini in there as well, that would probably be good. Don't quote me on that.
Check eRank first,
please. Check eRank, because a lot of people are going to say minifigures or minifigurines, but the majority of people that are playing things like D&D are going to put miniature or miniatures. Most likely miniatures, because not a lot, unless you're selling like singular characters from specific stories or something like that. Most people are not going to be searching for a single miniature of something unless it's something super specific that you sell.
Like Drits.
Yeah, they're going to want like a pack of miniatures.
Right.
Yes, my question was about the ads. That was a long time ago.
These are popular. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. I'm just making sure that it was a question that we answered. I don't even see the question previously.
We did.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Discord, that was the Discord comment.
Okay.
I'm selling off the last of my stock, then closing. I'm a newbie shop, though, and wondering where good to research keywords without using eRank. eRank's what we recommend.
eRank's free. Why not use eRank?
Yeah, eRank's free. You
Good
get
to
get quite a lot out of eRank with just the free account. I fully recommend, and I know I work for them, but I do fully recommend the pro account if you're going to be spending a lot of time on there. But it's not necessary.
But if you're closing your shop down, are you getting off Etsy altogether? Then just use the eRank free account. The only other options that you're going to have are going to cost more. eRank's the only one that's free. If you want to try to use Google AdWords, you can, but you're looking at keywords for Google, not Etsy. eRank is doing actual Etsy searches.
I mean, even with an eRank Pro account, it only costs about what like a nice big latte from Starbucks costs.
Basic's $5.99.
Yeah, and that's the standard cup of coffee at Starbucks. So
and you can cancel immediately.
And you can cancel immediately. And if you sign up for a month and cancel immediately, you still get to finish out the month. So, right?
I think so.
I mean, you won't get that $5.99 back, but you still get to finish out the month.
I think so. Yeah.
My Etsy store is so slow, but the same listings had sold out on other platforms. Wondering why.
Angela, with the level of success.
No, it's Michelle.
Oh, Michelle. Sorry, I was reading
My
hers.
Etsy shop is so slow, but the listings had sold out on other platforms. Wondering why. There's not really any way we can tell. Could be your photos, could be your descriptions, could be your prices compared to other listings on Etsy.
Could not be using good SEO. Didn't research keywords enough. There's a million factors. It's like walking into a doctor's office and saying, "Doc, my stomach hurts. What's wrong with me?" But don't touch me. You know, doctor has to do a little bit of examination to be able to tell you what's wrong with you.
With the level of success in your shop, Starla, how did you get to opt out of Etsy ads?
I'm talking about promoted listings. When I'm not talking about Etsy's offsite ads, I'm talking about promoted listings.
The ones that you specifically choose to pay for.
Yeah, when we're talking about like promoting listings and pushing ad revenue into specific listings for promoted listings.
Yeah, no, you don't get to opt out of the Etsy ads.
If you make over $10,000.
Yeah. Will changing your shop name hurt your shop that's fairly new, less than 6 months? No. I don't have an email list set up yet, waiting to take HAA in June. I really want to change my shop name. Do it. Earlier the better.
Yeah, that way nobody takes your name.
Before you have like an actual established audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does SEO come into play in a slogan, banner, or logo?
No. But, so banner, no, absolutely not. Logo, no, absolutely not. Slogan, you know that little tagline that we get, like right under our shop name, there's that little line that we can put in. That can be keyword optimized. That's not for, technically it's for a slogan. I wouldn't write a slogan to be keyword optimized because that's not the purpose of a slogan. A slogan is meant to stick out in the mind and create a brand impression, and it's very hard to do that while also keyword optimizing it. I would put exactly what it is that you specialize. So for me, I think I put like best-selling skeleton key necklaces on Etsy. Yep. Or skeleton key necklaces and key to my heart necklaces. Try to keyword optimize that little spot. But in terms of your slogan and things, no. McDonald's slogan is "I'm loving it."
Yeah, I mean the slogan, banners, logos, that's all just things that your customers are going to come to recognize about you. And
brand impression.
Yeah, brand impression. Banner, not so much because you're probably going to change that every once in a while.
But you can keep
logo, yeah, I think that's important. Has nothing to do with SEO, but the logo, like the McDonald's M.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere in the world other than some indigenous places and find somebody that doesn't know what that M is. Slogan, it depends on how much that slogan means to your brand. Like if you sell a lifestyle thing, slogan is really important, but it still doesn't really affect your SEO in like your description and things like that.
No, not it. Branding is very important. In fact, most of Handmade Alpha Academy talks about the psychology of branding, but it doesn't. SEO is like its own. SEO is the math. Branding is the art. It's like you've got math class and you've got art class, and sometimes they kind of bump into each other, but more often than not, depending on the type of art style, they're usually going to be relatively in their own worlds. It's the same as like having somebody who is very artistic minded versus somebody who's very mathematically minded. That's why Marc and I are so good together. He's the math whiz and I'm artsy fartsy.
But I think for slogans, especially for you guys that are lifestyle brands, your yoga brands or health brands or skincare or whatever, I think those are important, especially because they're hashtagable. Anything that you can make a slogan that's like 4 or less words that you can throw into a hashtag, just make sure nobody else is using it, because obviously healthcare is kind of a huge industry. It has been for like the last 10 years now. So make sure you're not stealing anybody else's slogans. Just go and type in the hashtag and see if there's any posts for it yet. But I think that slogans are incredibly important, especially the closer to healthcare you get. Clothing, you can get away with it too. How long does it take for your tags to kick in and get shown on Etsy? I forgot. 60 to 90 days.
60 to 90 days. They don't give us an exact number. No. They just say 60 to 90 days.
And it could be shorter. It's probably algorithmic. There's some sort of math equation, and it goes back to that listing quality score. It's not individual factors that make a listing successful. It's like this factor plus this factor divided by this factor minus this factor.
Well, and not only that, it's not that your tags and it's not that your listing isn't getting shown. It's that you haven't been ranked yet. So basically, when you list something new on Etsy, you don't have a listing quality score. So Etsy puts you right in the middle. They give you a little boost. They don't want to put you with all the bad listings that have bad SEO, because then no one will ever find you. But they can't put you right up on page 1 with all the best sellers, right? So they put you right in the middle. And then they gauge how people interact with your listing. And if they notice that, maybe you're back on page 2 or 3 or wherever, if they notice that people are clicking and engaging with your listing, and you get a buy, and somebody leaves a good review, over the span of 60 to 90 days, they're able to collect enough data to decide whether or not your listing should either, stay with all the good listings and have a good listing quality score, or nobody clicked on it, nobody liked it, nobody was interested in it, so they say, okay, it can go back here with the negative listing quality scores. The 60 to 90 day window is just the test period for them to see how long until they put you in a permanent position. So
what about changing attributes, especially holidays? We should be modifying those regarding the changing holidays?
No, don't use holiday tags or holiday attributes for things that are not holiday themed. If you make a necklace
that's dirty anyway.
Right. If you make a necklace and it's just a blue gemstone necklace, don't put a Christmas attribute. Etsy even specifically tells us not to do that. That's not what attributes are for. A Christmas attribute should be only used for a product that has a Santa Claus on it or something. Attributes do affect your SEO. They count kind of the same as tags do. That's why if you have something listed in your attributes, for example, you have topaz in your attributes, you don't need to put topaz down in your tags. You don't need to repeat it there. So no, you should not be constantly changing those attributes. Your attributes should describe precisely what your product is. Don't change it for the holidays. Use only the attributes that directly apply to your product, because Etsy doesn't want to see products miscategorized. And if that product is not specifically a holiday themed, then you're miscategorizing it.
Etsy just emailed me to say update your keywords before Mother's Day. Add phrases targeted at gift givers like personalized gift. How bad is that?
Well, Mother's Day, that's actually a pretty good span of time, I think.
Yeah, Mother's Day is yeah.
And they're not telling you to put Mother's Day in there. Personalized gift is actually one of the most searched things on Etsy. If you go into eRank's Trend Buzz in the Reports tab, you'll see that personalized gift is it is up there. I would say that, especially for your product, Samantha, personalized gift might actually be a really good keyword to use, because it's so trendy right now.
I can blow my nose. And I'm gonna refill my coffee.
Well, I want to.
Nope, I get it today.
Our French press makes exactly 3 cups of coffee, and every day we fight over who gets the 3rd cup of coffee. All right, fine. So, yeah, I would say that it not such a terrible thing, because we've still got a couple months. I would be really concerned if they told you right before Mother's Day. And also keep in mind that Mother's Day in the UK is separate from Mother's Day in the US. Mother's Day in the US is a month after Mother's Day in the UK. And Etsy likes to forget that sometimes. I've been using Valentine's in my latest listings after Valentine's Day is over, and I want to replace it with something more meaningful. Will it only take 60 to 90 days? It will take 60 to 90 days. It could take for 60 to 90 days to be re-ranked for the new keywords that you're trying to optimize for. It's always going to take a little bit of time. So, yeah, just experiment with it. I wouldn't change all your listings at once. I would do them slowly, one at a time, and not, right after Valentine's Day, do just a big shop clean out where you go and change all of your listings. SEO should be done very carefully, very precisely. Do you guys remember the 6 steps of the scientific method when you were a kid, learning that in middle school? Etsy SEO should be treated the exact same way. You need to decide for yourself what it is that you want to change about your listing, do a little bit of research, make that one little change, observe how the change affected your listing. You can do that with the change tracker tool in eRank. Decide, if the result was good. Is it a good result? Is it a bad result? Am I happy with my results? And if not, you need to change and kind of start over and test something new. But the last thing that you want to do is not know and change all of your listings all at once and then tank all of those listings because you made changes to all of them, and then it take a bunch of time for you to be re-ranked for new keywords. Do things slowly, do things carefully, do things one listing at a time. Let's see. Katie, I'm very careful with trademark terms, but I recently got a notice for a term description that is ridiculously basic. I didn't bother arguing, just removing or just remove listing. Will it affect my ranking? I don't believe so. I think if you actually get a claim against your shop, that it is, because Etsy does say claims against you, but a copyright notice, especially for like those ridiculous terms, apparently like smiley face is smiley. The word smiley
We're
is
getting to a point with speech where everything is illegal to say. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think so. It might be a question for Etsy, but I believe that it's only if a case was opened like against, or a copyright like actual claim was made.
I highlighted this whole thing.
I already did that.
But you didn't get this part, did you?
Well, I mean, I kind of summed it up in my answer.
All right, because she said you missed the second part of my question, which was the actual query.
Okay. That specific tag to be reassessed by Etsy, or will it affect the whole listing? It's the whole listing. Etsy isn't rating you per keyword. It's collectively.
All right, did you already get Amber's thing?
It's not a question.
It related to the thing. It's fine.
We got lots of questions. So
Lots of questions. Yeah, we're trying to blast through because we can't go super far over today.
I know how to answer a question.
No, she doesn't.
I know how to.
Did you already do this one?
Yes. Okay. John, missed it.
We sell shirts, so we shouldn't use the term shirt or shirts more than once in our tag title.
No, not unless you're wanting to try to get a bunch of exact matches, but you're still going to get broad matches. You don't need to reuse keywords. Etsy says you do not need to reuse keywords, especially not in your tags, because your tags can absolutely be mixed and matched. I wouldn't use one word tags, but I would try to only use the word shirt once. And to be perfectly honest, because you make a shirt, technically you don't need to have it. If it's already in your attributes, Etsy says that keywords that are in your attributes don't need to be repeated in your tags. But because it is what your product is, physically a shirt, I personally would still add it, just that one term in my tags. But yeah, you don't need to just say, red shirt, blue shirt, cool shirt, dad shirt, white shirt. You don't have to say shirt over and over again.
I've been taking shorter words that have high search and combining them together. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing? Like taking industrial decor and office decor, but doing industrial office decor?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that works. If that works for you.
Yeah, I mean, we can't say like that. We can't say, yeah, that's great, that's going to work.
We can't tell you.
Because we have no idea. But that's what I do. You just have to experiment, and occasionally you'll find one of those really great golden phrases that you've just kind of made up that works. If you notice that industrial decor and whatever the other one was,
it's
an office decor. If you know that both of those are doing well on their own, combining them, you're not going to get an exact match for those terms, but you might hit a really cool broad match market.
SEO is kind of a science. You have to experiment, do things, figure it out.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
What in the world is happening here?
I don't know.
Are we only allowed to stream for an hour and 30 minutes?
I think so. I don't know.
We've streamed for 2 hours before. In the tag, excuse me, in the tag section, no, this skipped one. I have a first photo that shows a color I don't have anymore, and I say that in the first part of the description. I'm loathing to change the photo as it's the one I get repeat customers.
It doesn't matter.
The photo doesn't affect the listing quality at all.
Yeah, unless they're clicking, and I would be really upset if I saw a color that I wanted in the thumbnail and then I clicked it and they didn't have it. And most people don't read descriptions, so
No, they don't.
I would take it out of your thumbnail. I would be really upset if I clicked on something looking for a particular color and then you didn't have it.
Angela, in the tag section of the listings, Etsy allows only 20 characters. What if the keyword we want to be known for is longer than 20 characters? Break it up.
Etsy's gonna mix it and match it. My keyword skeleton key necklace is too long, so I break it up. I don't use one word tags either, so I might do skeleton key and then dragon necklace or silver necklace.
Unless you're talking about a word that's more than 20 characters, and in that case, nobody's going to be searching that word anyway.
Yeah, break it up. Etsy's going to mix and match those tags together, so you can jumble them if you need to.
Do you think it's bad to leave a link to your second shop in the announcement? That's what Etsy made it optional. As people might click there out of curiosity, but it can show Etsy that they left your shop too fast.
No, I don't see anything. That sounds like a very a thing that would happen so infrequently that it would have no effect whatsoever. I wouldn't worry about that.
Your voice and mouth are not in sync. We know.
It hasn't been.
Yep, my computer decided it wanted to take a crap on me today, so
we're sorry. Maybe we'll do another SEO Q. Let us know in the comments if you want us to do another SEO Q&A next week.
I can never get the do not repeat words and tags thing. If exact matches are stronger than broad ones, and I'm selling a bracelet, then surely it's better to try for as many exact matches as possible.
Test it. Test it.
It works for some and it doesn't work for others. And we know that that's confusing. We know that saying that is confusing, but we can't help
I can tell that you're a mathematical thinker. You think your brain thinks in a way where things are in square boxes. And they need to be this way, therefore they cannot be this way, but that's not how it works. It's more of we do it this way, but occasionally it'll work this way, but it could also work this way, and in this rare scenario it'll work this way. Unfortunately, that's how SEO works. That's why even people like Anthony Wolf, who runs the most successful Etsy SEO company out there, a lot of the times he says, yeah, I don't know, because he's not going to speculate. We don't know Etsy's algorithm. No one does. So all we can say is you have to test it. You have to test things, and we can take what Etsy tells us and what we personally observe. Etsy tells us that we don't need to repeat words. Etsy tells us that it's better to get more keyword opportunities. We also know that exact matches tend to perform better. I would rather use one really great exact match and then try to get some broad matches in there for long tail phrases that less people are shopping for. That's just me though. You've got to develop your own keyword strategy and test things and give those things time. That's the biggest, is not getting, impatient with the results and really spending that time to watch, because I've been doing this for 9 years now. And it takes a long time. I've learned more about Etsy SEO in the last 2 years than I did my entire time selling on Etsy. So.
And she also said, I'm sure you said last week that changing a tag only resets the listing for that specific tag. I double checked with you and you confirmed this. Do you remember? No, I don't think so. If so, we may have misunderstood what you were asking, but no, that's not how that works.
No, it doesn't. Tags aren't. It's not like Etsy is like looking at every tag and each little tag has its own little score. That's not how it works.
And if you can find that, and I misspoke, I'm sorry, but I don't think I said that. eRank tells me that my title is long and appears to be written by a machine or truncated, even on my top sellers.
Don't listen.
Yeah, don't.
We know that. I work for eRank and all of my listings look like that. And I'm pretty sure that Anthony Wolf's own wife, I think her titles are the same way. Don't worry about that. What you're seeing is in the grades, you're seeing recommendations from Etsy's best practices, and that's all the grades are. There's not a person personally grading your listing. We can only filter by Etsy's best practices. Don't touch listings that are selling well. Even if the grade is terrible on that listing, don't touch listings that are selling well. In fact, we recently enhanced the grades to give you a good grade on your listing if that listing is selling well, because so many people would take listings that had bad grades and they would go change the keywords for them just to try to get that A, and then suddenly that listing would fall off of search pages. Here's a fun fact. All of my listings have bad grades. All of them. Every single one of them. So don't worry
They're
about
all based, the grades are based on Etsy's best practices. And I've talked to Anthony about just completely getting rid of the grades entirely.
We've done it before. You guys
and
get real upset.
Everybody is, oh, the grades are gone. The grades I don't like.
I hate the grades.
I don't particularly care for that. I think that if we were going to put grades, it should literally be called Etsy Quality Score grade, because it's based off of how, or not Etsy Quality Score, Etsy Best Practices score.
Yeah.
Because it's literally just based off of the best practices. It has no inclination or relevancy to how the listing is going to perform.
We all at eRank, we all hate grades. We've tried to get rid of grades, and you guys get real upset every time we do. So if we could get rid of grades and nobody would complain, we'd be so happy. You just have to, and I believe I wrote the disclaimer on the grades page.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
Look for the disclaimer. It specifically says that they just follow Etsy's best practices.
Yeah, we don't like them, but we end up losing a bunch of customers when we get rid of them. As a matter of fact, again, looking through the reasons why people quit, there were a couple people that quit because we changed how the system worked recently. And they said that was the worst mistake eRank's ever made. And it's like, it's still there. We just changed it. Anyway, same thing with links to your other items in your product description, as it might distract customers from buying and show Etsy that a customer click away. And maybe it was not something he was looking for.
No, I think
I don't think so. It's that's different from like your own website than it is from Etsy.
Are you mean like you want people to click around your shop? That encourage them to do more clicking in your shop. That's great. That's not the same as bounce rate. They're not clicking.
A bounce is a leave. If they're going from one part of your shop to another part of your shop, they didn't bounce.
Right.
They just moved.
And it's, once again, this is assuming that they're reading your description and looking in there anyway. This is going to be such a rare scenario that I don't think that it's going to collectively make any influence on your shop whatsoever.
If you've renewed a listing several times, having tried to improve it each time, and you just can't build a listing quality score for it, it's best just to cut your losses and stop renewing it.
I would try a new listing there. I would try, rather than renewing that same listing, I would try to relist it. And have you ever considered it's not your SEO? Maybe it's your thumbnail. Maybe it's your pricing. Maybe it's something else. I would try just relisting it and completely treat it like a brand new listing. Like you shoot all new photos and you just start over.
Look at your competition. Yeah. Find somebody in your exact industry that sells things that are nearly identical to you, that has decent sales, not just anybody, but somebody that has like a few thousand sales, has good 5-star reviews and all that kind of stuff. And like don't copy what they're doing, but compare what they're doing. See what they're doing that you're not doing. Are the quality of their photos better? Are the quality of the products in the photos better? Like, it's one of those things that, like, there's always something that can be improved, even if you are making a crap ton of sales, that we can't really tell you exactly what's
TK
going on.
up there you missed.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible at SEO. How not to repeat hair and scrunchies. Would something like this work? Oversized velvet scrunchie and emerald green giant XL hair, bubbles, jumbo scrunchies for thick hair.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly how I do it.
Gotta experiment, yo.
But try it out. Test it.
Amy, are you serious about the VPN? Maybe that's why nothing is happening during Christmas. Wow, I was hip-hopping between two homes, so I was using a VPN the whole time.
I think it just violates their terms of use. I don't think it would be something that would keep you from getting sales.
No, it wouldn't keep you from getting sales. It's if you did something while using a VPN with the shop and they thought that you were being sketchy, then they would shut you down.
Yeah, I think that they'll just shut your shop down. So I would be really careful. I check into their policies about that, because I don't want to like misquote here, but yeah, see if I would Google Etsy not allowed VPN and
Yeah.
and see what Etsy has to say about it. Unless it has changed,
I
but I'm
think
like 99%
I think
sure.
it's to help keep companies off of Etsy and keep it as singular sellers, because if you
Yeah.
really think about it, if a company was trying to run an Etsy shop, they wouldn't be able to just always have somebody at the office in the company building running an Etsy shop. They would need somebody doing it at home, and they would be using a VPN so that they couldn't tell what location that they were being at, or if they were saying that they worked from a residential address but it was a business address and they were using a VPN to cover it. It's a safety thing on their end because they want to keep Etsy as Etsy and not as Amazon. I checked Rank Checker and I have a listing at 3, but I also have one with the exact same tags and info, and it's 49. Listing quality score, yo!
Listing quality score. One has a history. How long was the one on page 3? Is it older? Does it have more sales? Does it have more people checking it out? Does it have more reviews on it?
Now, is it a stinky situation and the one on 49 sells more than the one on 3? Because if so, I would like to know.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the listing quality score, the other one just is higher. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because it's been around longer.
Do you have a video on how to use the eRank Rank Checker tool correctly?
Rank Checker tool, you just put the keywords that you want to be known for into the rank checker. You put the keyword that you want to rank for, and you see what pages some of your listings are landing on. That's it.
Yep.
If it says page 1, then that's
And you're doing good.
Page 2, still doing good. Page 3, not too bad. Page
Yep.
4, could be better. Page 5, and then after that, those listings probably could use a little SEO refresh if they're not selling. I see him. Bubbers is up above our heads.
I'm going to have to get him here in a sec.
I can make a video on it, but that's really all you do.
Alright. And this is too long. Go ahead and I gotta get him before he presses my power button. Big baby. He's a big baby if you didn't know. No, you stay right there.
Okay.
About reviews. My customers are satisfied. They send me messages as soon as they receive their order and pictures, but for some reason they have a hard time leaving a review. My young brides do well with reviews, but most of my customers are mother of the bride, grandma of the bride. Some hardly know how to check out, and most of them ask me to call them.
All right, so
Oh boy, no, I know the feel there.
Down below, make sure that you have my swipe file series, because that is how you can request a review by letting them know how to do so. My swipe file series, you know what? I'm not even gonna go over it because it's all on the page down there. Look for the 5-star customer service strategy link in the description and get those. They're free. Thousands of alphas use them. Thousands of alphas have left amazing feedback for them. They work, and they don't. It's not a way to like message someone and say, "Hey, can you review this?" I know how schemy that sounds, and nobody wants to do that. What it does is it lets your customer know how to do it. Oh, if you would like to leave a review, you can do this, and it will explain it to them and also remind them that, hey, maybe they should leave a review if they were happy with their purchase. So if you have questions about the swipe files, if they're ethical, if they're allowed, the answer to that is yes, but all of that information is on the page, so you can personally read over that.
If you get favorites on a regular basis but no sales, can we assume that the SEO is not what we need to focus on since people are finding the listing and favoriting it?
I wouldn't use that as a factor.
Yeah. You might have got shared somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody might have shared it on their Facebook and all their friends came over and liked it. I mean, there's really no way to tell, so I wouldn't think too hard about it.
Yeah, favorites are one of those. Favorites are not a metric that I pay a lot of attention to. If I had one listing that suddenly got like 100 favorites, I would want to know who the heck shared me.
Yeah.
But favorites are not a measurable metric of success. I would not use them to gauge the listings that I should focus on.
I am ranking on page 1 for long tail keyword, but not making sales for that item. Should I remove it or leave it as it may be leading to other items in my shop that are selling?
Is that long tail keyword a keyword that is searched? I used this example in yesterday's eRank live stream, but if I put the word floop-de-doop-de-dee-da in my tags and titles, and then I checked in the rank checker, The rank checker would probably tell me that I'm on page 1 for the search floop-de-doop-de-dee-da. But nobody on Etsy is searching floop-de-doop-de-dee-da, therefore my rank doesn't matter.
Yes.
Is the long tail keyword that you're using something that people are actually searching? That's what I would want to know.
eRank is free. I didn't realize there was a free version. Yes, there is a
is.
free version. You're just limited to how many searches you have per day, but for the majority of people, other than the other tools, there are other tools that you get with eRank Pro that
And
basic that I personally think are worth it.
Absolutely.
It just depends on how much. Honestly, for most people, I'd say start with the free account, get used to the tools that you have, and then upgrade to Pro, because it's a lot of. We have a lot of people that cancel because they're so overwhelmed with the amount of information, and they say that
I'm working on that, guys.
Yeah, and they say that they're not, that eRank doesn't have what they want. And in most cases, what I see from people is that they are using the tools in ways that that aren't beneficial to them. If you didn't know, Keyword Tool and Keyword Explorer are different things. Most people use one or the other. And I forget which one.
The keyword tool. Yeah. Most people use the keyword tool. The keyword tool shows you keywords that are common amongst other Etsy sellers.
And Keyword Explorer, in even talking with Anthony, Keyword Explorer is going to be more beneficial to you than the keyword tool.
Yeah, because Keyword Explorer is showing you Etsy searches by shoppers. Keyword Explorer is showing you the keyword tool is showing you the frequency of use in other Etsy shops.
And keyword tool is used a magnitude of 4 times more than the Keyword Explorer. So that tells me that people don't understand the tools.
Yeah.
We're working on that. I'm currently in the process of editing a video that she's kind of just explaining what stuff is, and we will be working on more material to show you exactly how the tools work. It takes time.
Yeah.
Just editing a video, it takes her an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. If you consider planning, up to 4 hours to record a video. And for editing, it takes anywhere between 3 and 8 hours to edit a video. So it takes time.
We're working on some dashboard enhancements.
Yes.
Basically, when you log into eRank, there are going to be things that are going to help you along the way. So if you log in and your dashboard looks weird within the next few weeks, that would be our team working very, very hard to make sure that eRank is actually teaching you how to use the tools rather than making you feel like you're just kind of stranded in the water.
Do you think the main photo thumbnails on Etsy work better with text of the product, or is it just the product? I prefer the first photo to not have any text on it, unless you have like options like what you do with yours.
Yeah, but mine doesn't have text.
But I don't, excuse me, I don't like text.
Visual content is processed 60% faster? 60 something. I keep wanting to say 67. Amber Marie, I know you're in the chat. Google for me how fast visual content is processed versus written content and audible content. I believe that it's 60 something percent faster. Images are everything. The brain can process an image almost immediately. It takes us a little bit of time to read. And the reason for that is when we are born, we can immediately process visual content. But reading takes us time, and understanding language takes us time. But we are born with the natural ability to understand or learn quickly from our surroundings. Therefore, we understand that type of content more quickly than written words. So anytime that you have an opportunity to use visual content, that's what you should be doing. You should always be processing or using visual content. Sorry, you distracted me. Visual content.
It's my fault. I clicked and freaking lost where I was. Need to like power round through this.
That's all right. 10 more minutes. We'll do 10 more.
Oh crap! I didn't even realize we were over already.
Yeah, we'll do 10 minutes more.
eRank Pro Stellar. Have you had any experience with linking Etsy shops to a Facebook page? Is it the same as the commerce settings on Facebook? Found it in the settings on Etsy.
No. Linking your Facebook page to... Wait, what?
Linking your Facebook page to... Or linking your Etsy shop to a Facebook page. She said it's in the commerce settings on Facebook. Found it in the settings on Etsy.
I don't know if I've done that. We
can't comment on it. We don't know.
Yeah, if it's what I think it is, no, that it won't make a lot of it. I'm not sure. Because my Etsy shop is like linked to my Facebook, but I don't know if they're connected via, because Facebook made a lot of changes recently, so I don't know. I'll look into it. And just a quick disclaimer, guys. I've had a couple people ask me when I'm planning on opening my Etsy shop back up because I've been on vacation mode. I'm just waiting for the mail to catch up. We just had an alpha who had posted that a package that she shipped out in November
It arrived today.
arrived yesterday.
It was the 20th, yeah.
So yeah, I'm just waiting because I don't.
We already don't have the time for the Etsy shop. We only keep it open that way we're valid for you guys. Honestly, we don't want to be those coaches that don't practice what we preach, and that's literally the only reason why that shop still exists.
Yep, and I do not have time to deal with a bunch of missing packages, so I'm just gonna wait a few weeks until USPS catches up.
This is a busy time of year for us. We're still planning out our whole year. We have to do taxes, which when we run our Etsy shop, we work for eRank, we run the alphas, and especially with the alpha stuff, because it's our big money maker for us. Like, taxes takes a lot out of me. Yeah. So dealing with customer relations for an Etsy shop with a bunch of pissed off people wanting to know where their keys are is not a priority for me. Where do we find attributes? My products are not specific color or occasion themed.
Okay, don't use attributes are right under when you fill out your Etsy title when you're editing a listing. So what is it? When was it made? Who made it? What is it? What category does it fall into? If a color is an option, fill it out. If not, don't fill out color. How big is it? What occasion is it for? Who's it for? Things like that. Those are your attributes. And if the attributes don't apply, just skip the ones that don't apply to you. That's perfectly fine.
And Amber said 60,000 times faster than text.
60,000? I said 60. So
you said 60%.
Or 60%. Okay, so
60,000 times faster.
Visual content is processed 60,000 times faster than text.
When you deactivate a listing and reactivate it, is the quality score hurt depending on how long it was deactivated for, or will it start back right where it started, or right where it left off? Does that make sense?
It is the exact same as going on vacation mode. If no one is engaging with that listing, it is going to drop its listing quality score over time. Etsy relies on feedback through users who are constantly clicking and exploring those listings. So if it's been deactivated, or if you put your shop on vacation mode where all of your listings are basically deactivated, no one is able to engage with them. And since no one's able to engage with them, you're going to, when you reactivate it, you're probably going to notice a little stall. But that's okay, because the actual listing quality score from any reviews that you've had, any sales of that listing, you still get to keep all of that. It just takes a little bit of time to really kickstart it and let Etsy know, like, hey, I'm back. It's here. The listing, it exists. What I like to do is post it on social media. If I'm on vacation mode, posting a sale, just driving traffic into your shop, getting people to click around, encouraging people to check things out and possibly buy. You could do that by offering a coupon code, and that will spark a little bit of activity, and Etsy will recognize that you're back. And with a new listing, I would just post about it on social media and drive people back to it. Let Etsy know that you still exist.
All right, we got like 4 minutes left. Let's power around. If an item is heart-shaped, should we use Valentine's Day attribute? It's not specifically that Valentine's Day, but it's a heart, so I've been wondering. That's totally up to you. We answered a similar question to that.
Yeah, that's
earlier, so it's up to you. It doesn't really matter.
I believe that in shapes, heart-shaped might even be an option for some products.
I'm going on vacation. I would like to keep my shop opened with just a couple of products. I have a bestseller right now. How should I go about this? I'll be gone for 4 days.
Extend out your processing time.
That's the best thing to do.
Extend out your processing time. 4 days isn't that long. Whatever your current processing time is, just add yourself a couple extra days in there. Should be fine, though.
This one I think is, I don't know if it's spam or what. I ordered these shoes off Etsy and it was supposed to arrive today, but it never came. We're not Etsy support, so I don't know what to tell you.
You got to get with the seller.
But they sent the same message twice.
Okay.
So I think they're just a spammer.
Well, not only, shipping is slow right now, Jonathan. So.
Upcoming Google SEO changes. Any thoughts? They won't affect Etsy.
Yeah.
Etsy doesn't use Google's SEO algorithm. They have their own. And Google changes theirs every few years just to keep people on their toes. That way nobody gets close to figuring out the Google algorithm.
I don't know anything about Google's algorithm.
They change it frequently, so that way people can't figure it out. Anytime people figure it out, they change it immediately.
Something about a panda and a penguin and something. I don't know.
Super advanced Boolean.
Don't ask me about Google SEO. I have no idea.
It works just about the same way. Do they mix and match tags in the tag section or only in the item title?
Both. It's called broad matching. They're broad matching for terms. You're not getting an exact match.
Yes, very helpful. Would love another SEO Q&A. Okay.
Yeah, I told them to type in the chat if they wanted another SEO.
Oh, that was a heckin' long time ago. So many folks teach that you should take your title, copy and paste it into your description, and then turn it into 5 sentences using those title words. Does the description count for SEO rank?
No.
No.
Etsy
doesn't. That used to be like the common thing.
I taught that too.
Yeah, and we taught it too. And it may have worked at one point or another. You got to remember that just like Google, we just talked about, Etsy's going to change their SEO algorithm. Not frequently, but frequently enough that people can't figure it out to the T.
Yeah, but whoever told you that is living in the Stone Ages, because that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was like when we first started teaching people how to do stuff. So they're a little behind on that.
Here's the thing. Google reads your descriptions. Etsy doesn't. It's going to be impossible to rank on Google. Is it possible? Yeah, but it's you and your product. If you're selling this mug, it is you on Etsy up against every single mug on Google. That's going to be hard to do. Don't make your listing look goofy with all these keywords in your description by trying to rank on Google when it's like winning the lottery. It's probably not going to happen. Focus on Etsy.
Okay.
Unless you do your own website.
Where are attributes? I can't find them. I'm so new to Etsy.
I kind of just answered that. They're right under your title when you're filling out those little drop-down menus. Those are your attributes.
I do give my SEO time. The listing drops to 9% visibility in the meantime, and I get very few views. It's been going at this since April 2019, and I still struggle. Maybe it's my mathematical brain. Just don't think too hard about it. It takes time for your listings to settle in. Does Etsy mix and match the tags in the tag section only, or only in the item title, or both? Anyone can answer this. I've been struggling.
Yes, it's broad matching. Broad matching will any keyword that you use in your tags can combine with another keyword used in your tags, no matter how far apart they are. Etsy can get you a broad match for that.
So if you know, and I've told people this in the past, if you know anything about Boolean logic, how Boolean works, is if you looks at a sentence, it's going to pull out every single individual word and then find every combination of that word in the search. But with the SEO algorithm, it's doing that, but it's also doing, if you know Boolean, if you put quotations around something, it's looking for exactly that item. So it's looking for all the individual items separately, but then it's also looking for each individual one with quotations around it. And then that's how it's prioritizing. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but if you look up Boolean, that's kind of similar to how that works. It's looking at all of them individually, and it's looking at all of them
side by side,
singular objects.
Yeah.
Hi, just wondering, when you sell holiday-specific fabrics or patterns, is it appropriate to use specific holiday keywords?
Yes. Especially, and leave them up all year. Yeah, because for fabrics, people are buying those to make crafts. So who knows when they're going to need to start making especially if maybe they sell things too, they might need that Christmas fabric, especially early. They might buy it in the spring so that they can make their products through the summer, get their shop ready through the fall, and list them in time for Christmas. So yeah, I would say that in your case, you're just fine. Leave them up all year.
Yes. I have observed that a listing that is copied performed much worse than the original. Is this a thing? Yes. If you copy a listing, none of the history of that listing goes over with it.
No listing quality score is carried over.
Yes.
It'll take time to build up a listing quality score for that listing. It's not just keywords that contribute. There are a lot of factors. We only know 7 of them. Etsy only tells us 7.
I sell gift boxes and gift sets for all occasions. How do I get around not using the word gift boxes?
Why can't you use the word gift boxes?
Is that one of those terms that Etsy gets mad at you for using?
As long as you know what's in them, you're allowed to do. You can't do mystery
Oh,
boxes.
yeah, you can't do mystery boxes because that's gambling.
But I sell gift boxes and gift sets. You just mean not repeating the word gift boxes? Just. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Use the word gift box. You can use the word gift box.
As long as it's not just a rando box full of stuff and you're not telling them what they're getting.
You got to tell them what's in it. But
I'm assuming she sells just gift boxes. I don't like you're selling for people to use as gift, like a.
no, she means like she sells all occasions gift box, like a box full of.
Oh.
Like a.
That's what happens when you don't read the full sentence.
Good job.
We're an hour and a half in. My brain's deep fried by now.
Yeah, I want to answer your question. I'm just not quite sure exactly what it is, so feel free to add to it if you need to.
And Amber's little question or little comment there, like a big transformer tag. That's where I'm stopping. So any questions after that, I won't answer. Is Rank Checker and Seen on Etsy the same thing?
Spotted on Etsy is going to give you listings that you were spotted for. What is it? The first 100 searches, or the first 2 pages. Spotted on Etsy is basically going to tell you if you are at the very, very top of the terms that you're monitoring through the monitor tool. So it's going to show you basically a rank listings that are ranking that we have seen at the top of search pages. But you have to enter the terms that you want to be monitored for in the monitor tool. So it's not the same as the rank checker, but essentially it's doing the same thing. It is showing you rank, but within the monitor tool, you just want to enter what search terms you want to be known for, the ones that you're trying to rank for. If you are on a free account, you can only monitor one term. So I would recommend monitoring like your big enchilada keyword, the number one thing that you want to be known for. I make skeleton key necklaces, so I would monitor the term skeleton key necklace. And I would, check Spotted on Etsy to see if I'm being shown in search pages for that term.
Can you tell more about Etsy bounce rate, bad, versus click-through rate, good, as I clearly got confused in those. Bounce rate is a specified amount of time if somebody pulls open a listing or your shop or something like that and then clicks off of it to something away. They close the tab or they click to somebody else's listing or something that doesn't have to do with you. And then I'll let you do click-through rate, so I'm not just talking.
Click-through rate is the rate of people who, if they typed in a search on Etsy, it is the rate of people who found what they were looking for. So if I was looking at the click-through rate for skeleton key necklaces and I noticed that there was a high click-through rate, it meant that people were finding what they were looking for. They were putting in that query and then they were clicking something.
On yours, clicking yours.
Well, I think click-through rate for a search term itself is going to be whether or not they found what they were looking for through that query. So, for example, gift terms usually don't have a high click-through rate because the products that they get are going to be so random. That's why gift terms are a little bit harder to find success with unless they're very niche. For example, just gifts for mom, because they don't point to a specific type of product, you might notice things like lower click-through rates because they're not super precise. That's all a click-through rate is. I would recommend going to eRank's channel because Pam Duffy just posted a video on our eRank channel about click-through rate, and it is under a minute long. It's like 50-something seconds long. But she explains click-through rate way better than I just did.
And bounce rate, I don't know what the exact time is for that. It depends on the website. They probably set their own.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't really know about bounce rate on Etsy because I don't think that they say.
I don't know if it necessarily matters. Like I use bounce rate for eRank just to see how many people are, but bots kind of contribute to that. So I kind of doubt that they hold bounce rate against you. Do you have a method for keeping track of SEO changes, reviewing those changes, understanding what happened with those changes, etc.? With 100 listings, it's hard to keep track of keeping track. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't change 100 listings at a time.
Nope.
Change tracker tool and keep an eye on them and check them. That's what I would do. Change tracker tool. It's doing all the hard work for you. I would keep track of them in the change tracker tool, make a change, monitor how those changes affected my views, favorites, and sales, establish if it was a positive change. If it was a positive change, then I know that I made the right choices, and maybe I could use some of those keywords in a different listing that I decide to edit. And then I will track that listing for a little while, make my changes, and then establish if those changes contributed to my views, favorite, and sales in a positive way. That's essentially what the change tracker tool does.
Shirley said Anthony used to give tutorials at the Thursday lives, which was really helpful. The website's changed a lot, and
he's so busy.
Well, it also displays specific shop information when you log into it. It's and showing somebody else's shop on a YouTube channel, it kind of, or on Facebook, it kind of works as a little bit of a promotion. You got to consider eRank is becoming a rather, it's not a large company, but it's becoming a large statement on the internet, and it's not a best practice to show off specific shops because it kind of looks like promotion. So that's why we record videos and we edit them, and I can remove things that aren't too tasteful for a big company. Not that eRank is a big company, but they are
pretty big,
a high performing company, and we don't want to look like we're making somebody look good because that's just it. People get mad. People get mad about the dumbest crap. So,
okay, give me this one because this one's important.
It's okay. It'll be okay. I thought it was important to repeat the best keywords in titles and tags. Is this still best practice?
Yes. When I say don't repeat keywords in your tags and titles,
I mean an individual listing.
I don't mean not to put the keywords from your title into your tags. Yes, still do that. All the keywords that are in your title should be in your tags. That is what you should do. What you should not do is say in your title, making your title knitted scarf, scarf for grandma, warm scarf, cozy scarf, yarn scarf. You don't need to repeat scarf over and over again in your title. You don't need to do that. But all of the terms that are up in your title, you should absolutely put down in your tags as well. So hopefully that kills any confusion there.
I've asked several times if eRank could walk through the whole process with us from start to finish, how to apply each tools as you plan, list, manage, review. That's a lot of work.
Everybody has an individual strategy.
Yeah, and it's different depending on what kind of stuff that you do. If you're relying on the offsite ads, if you're relying on your own industry, if you're relying, like, there's so many different ways to use the tools, and there's so many different ways to apply it. Like, it's like we don't have the ability to just create a Bible for like how to use eRank depending on what your shop is. That would be an astronomical amount of work.
Please be patient with us. We are working on a lot of amazing updates right now, literally right now. There are huge updates coming to your dashboard. We are working on it. We're doing everything that we can because we know that it's hard, but every single update takes time. We have an entire development team that you guys will never see. We have over 20 employees. And everything has to go through multiple layers. So an idea that I have can take, months to actually make it to you guys. But we're doing everything that we can. And I think that when it comes to these particular changes, we're moving at an astronomical pace.
Yeah, it takes quite a lot of work and a lot of people and a lot of man hours to make things happen, especially when it comes to, like, we can say that we want something done with the website, but then there's a whole team of programmers who have to figure out how to make that work and not break the website in the process.
And we do.
And sometimes it does break the site. Fortunately, we have the ability to have a separate build of the website on a completely different system, so you don't see that. But when it does break and the tool is how we want it to be, we have to figure out why. We have to figure out why it's breaking, and then they have to figure out how to fix it and make it not break without having to change the tool and make it something else. Web development, when you're not just using a plugin based thing, is hard and it takes time. You can click on a listing on Facebook and it'll take you to the listing in Etsy. I've watched a couple of videos on it and we'll be doing that shortly.
Okay, so when you open the Facebook shop option, I haven't done that yet, so I can't give a lot of feedback on it, but I don't see why not. If I would do it if I were you. Why not have that opportunity there?
Do you have any Etsy tips for businesses that are just starting out?
Tons. They're on my
Tons.
Tons. They're on my channel.
Quick tips. Be consistent. Do your research. Don't make drastic changes to your shop all at once you have your shop set up. Don't change all of your listings at once. Make sure your photos are good. Use as many photo spaces as you can. Fill out every section in your shop. Every section if you can. And use a picture of yourself. Don't use some goofy cartoon picture unless you're like on witness protection or have a creepy stalker ex or something. Use a real picture of you. Spend time on your banner and monitor your competition. Look at what your competition's doing.
But I have tons and tons of videos on my channel.
Yep, look through the channel. We have tons of crap. That was just little quick bits. I use Power Thesaurus a lot for finding words. It's super helpful when your brain is just pudding. That's about where I'm at right now. Can you tell me how to get rid of printful mailing choices? I believe I've clicked the correct choices and subscriptions, but it's still there.
We don't use Printful, so we can't weigh in, Amy. I would post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community and ask someone who uses Printful, because we can only help with things that we have experience with.
Do you have to file taxes for each of your shops separately? We can't comment on that, but no. No tax advice. And then Jasmine asked, could you guys talk about how to file taxes for your Etsy shop? Nope. The only thing that I can say is that you should go to either like a legit tax person, get yourself an actual accountant. We use Block Advisors because if they goof up and file the taxes incorrectly, we pay the insurance on it and they'll be responsible for the goof up, not us, as long as we were honest. And I recommend the same to you. It's expensive, but having that extra layer of protection, ensuring that if something happens with the taxes and you get audited, that it doesn't ruin your life. Because you never know what's going to happen. You might end up having like a 6-figure year and then file your taxes wrong and then not find out till way later that you still owe like $10,000 and then you get struck with a bunch of fees. Hire a professional. If you're a small shop and you made like $1,000 or $2,000, you might be safe filing taxes on your own. But I personally, unless you know what you're doing, I don't recommend it. I know TurboTax and all that stuff is super beneficial, but there are so many other minor things that you might miss writing off. If you made $30,000 to $60,000, your tax person might save you a couple grand in tax fees. Like in the state of Ohio, the first $350,000 that we make, we didn't have to pay state taxes on. We would have never known that. Yeah. So get yourself an accountant that's local to your area, not regular H&R Block. They do an okay job, but Block Advisors is specifically for business. They are accountants, and you can have them as a personal accountant. So
our woman is rad. She's had
she has saved
40 years experience.
Yeah, she's saved us tens of thousands of dollars on our tax returns. So that's all I can say. I can't give you specific advice, but I will say find a professional. This has been informative. Yep. And then there was one thing. Pudding is just custard. That's so weird. No, pudding and custard are different things. Custard is egg-based. There was one that was related to something. Don't copy a listing and change it for a variation of, for example, a candle. If you're making variations of the same candle, it's okay to copy, just with the understanding that none of the data behind it is going to carry over. So it's like creating a listing from scratch.
When I make a new listing, if I'm listing a skeleton key and I know that a lot of the details are going to be the same as a listing that I already have in my shop, I'll copy that listing so I don't have to retype everything out. Like if I know it's going to be the same size and the description is going to be somewhat the same, I'll copy it to use it as like a template. And then I'll change the keywords and add in new photos and I'll do that. But that's just me being lazy and not wanting to start over with a listing. But I know that the listing quality score isn't going to carry over. It won't have an advantage. It just saves me a little bit of time.
And then Lon said what does CTR stand for? Click-through rate. And that's what we talked about a few minutes ago.
Click-through rate. Go to eRank's channel. There's a great video there from Pam Duffy.
Oh yeah, G Morgan, that's a good question. Did everybody here hit that like button?
Hit the like button.
There's 160 of you and there's 60 likes, so there's 100 likes missing there.
Absolutely. Everybody give lots of love. We are here after a crazy night. For those who joined us late, Mark's little sister had her baby yesterday in her bathroom on the floor. So we're going to go take her some pants because she's in the hospital right now with no pants. In fact, she's waiting for us to finish this live stream so we can take her some pants. She's okay. She's fine.
Amber said, "What is pudding? We don't have pudding. It's kind of like custard. Custard is obviously it's made with an egg base. Pudding is made with a gelatin base.
Yeah.
It's milk and gelatin
and you guys
chocolate
just eat it
vanilla.
on its own?
Yeah, real pudding isn't. I mean, real pudding, I guess technically would be custard because pudding is like a quick. But pudding is gross. I don't really like pudding. I like custard.
Like a mousse? No,
like
mousse is
mousse. No, mousse is a whipped thing.
Mousse is airy.
Yeah, it's whipped. It's just whipped sugar and milk. But it's always brown? No, chocolate pudding is always brown. But there's vanilla, there's pistachio, there's any flavor you can.
Lemon pudding.
Lemon pudding's okay. I still custard is still better than pudding.
Let's send her some Jell-O pudding mix. Can we send that across the border?
I don't know. It's a product made out of bone. So.
What's the worst thing that could happen? They just seize it, right?
Yeah.
Will we go to jail for shipping Amber Jell-O pudding?
I'm sure there's nothing in here. She said, "You reckon it's like Angel Delight?" I have no idea. Fancy pudding means a 20-minute conversation in our house on what type, like cake, scone, mousse, ice cream, flan, tart, cheesecake. It's all different stuff. I want a bowl of custard now. Yeah, I know, a bowl of custard with some strawberries.
All right.
Tags on listing. I thought they should be different. We kind of already answered that earlier. All right, I think that is going... OMFG, please do not take legal advice from anyone on YouTube. That's way too risky.
Thank you!
Yeah, and if you do take legal advice from someone on YouTube, just remember, you can sue them.
Which is why we don't give
give you legal advice, because somebody can misconstrue what we say and then sue us. And
don't sue us.
Please don't sue us. If you have a problem, message me directly or fight me IRL, bro.
You can either message him, send him an email, or you guys can bare knuckle box in the front yard.
Or show up and we can throw hands. That's fine too. I'll fight like a man.
This is why we are not the world's best coaches.
Show up with a couple of sabers. We'll fence. Let's do it. couple of flintlocks. We'll do an old fashioned 10 pace.
Oh God.
I don't know if that's gonna get us in trouble or not, but it's whatever.
Do a water balloon fight in the front yard.
Yeah, but for real, don't sue people unless they hurt you or something.
Yeah. Fight me IRL. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We got to go take a little sister some pants. Mm-hmm. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Hopefully this isn't your first live stream because this has been a crazy one.
It's fun. We don't do a lot with the questions anymore, and we're trying to move the questions back in.
We will be back this upcoming Friday. We also have some really fun video ideas planned. We've just had a lot of life things to figure out. But a little hint for our new video series, I'm going to be telling you business stories, not like historical business stories and things that you can learn from them. So those are going to be fun. They're going to be like little narrative stories, like story time. But yeah, we hope that you guys have an amazing and safe weekend. Watch out for lots of Bernie Sanders memes. We've already seen several Etsy sellers who made like 99 sales yesterday because they immediately jumped on the Bernie Sanders meme trend and sold stickers of him, and they're like freaking out. It's just a little bit of insight for next time a viral meme pops up, because
you only have like a day or two to actually make that happen. Don't try to do something viral a week after it's happened, because it's already a dead meme.
Yeah. So next time we see a big crazy meme like this, if you're able to design a product quick and sell it digitally or do a sticker or something.
But be careful, because a lot of times memes are based on copyrighted content.
Yeah.
Meme lords usually don't get in trouble because every meme lord makes copyright content. You're not a meme lord, you're an Etsy seller. You will get in trouble for copyright content. So just word of caution there.
Yeah.
But if you haven't liked the video, please do. We have 132 likes. There's still 8 more of you that could like, and I'm sure there's probably like...
We only have 85 likes.
Oh, 85 likes.
Yeah.
Cowards. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Click the little bell icon if you want to get notified every time we go live or upload a video. YouTube most of the time is pretty good about notifying everybody.
There's freebies down below.
There are freebies down below. Check the little, if you're on your phone, you have to extend it. It's a tiny little thing.
Yeah. Get the 2021 marketing calendars have been fixed, hopefully for those who are having issues with them. They're fixed and the typo is fixed, so you guys can get the new copy down below. You can also get my 5-star customer service strategy, which will help your search ranking because they'll help your listing quality score by getting more good reviews. So you can grab both of those freebies down below. Be sure to call your mom, check on your sister, make sure she didn't have a baby on the floor, and we will see you next Friday.
Bye-bye.